we're starting off in that comfortable starting position. So that can mean a number of things. If your initial range of motion is a cat and cow, a child's pose to cobra, a downward facing dog, a forward fold, you can start in the position that best leads you into any of those positions. If your initial range of motion of choice is something from seated, you can start in a comfortable seated. We can start this evening with our regular scan of the body, starting from the top of the head and moving to the tips of the toes. As you take that scan of the body, as always, that's without any judgment. You're just noticing how you're feeling, noticing what's going on in your body, noticing those points of tension that need that little bit of extra love and attention this evening, that need that little bit of a deeper stretch or a little bit more care as you go into those stretches. And also those places that feel really good tonight and that you can take up that extra notch every time we take that movement up a notch in our building flow. As you finish that scan and you notice those spaces that need that extra attention, I invite you to any of those initial ranges of motion. It can be one that I mentioned, it can be one that I didn't mention, it could be one that we do every single time that we practice, or something that you found that you really like that I don't include as part of my warm up. Taking about 6 nice deep breaths in that initial range of motion or that initial stretch, wherever you need that extra little bit of care before we get moving, making this practice your own. About 4 more nice deep breaths right there. As you finish out that fourth nice deep breath, we're gonna bring it on back over to our comfortable seated position. So if you found any other positioning, I invite you to go ahead and join me as usual. If yours doesn't look just like mine, if you like to have those feet out or knees bent, feet extended, that is totally fine with me. We're going to start off with our roll of the head and the neck. So after you've made your way back here, that next inhale finds that super long spine. That exhale drops the chin to the chest. And then nice and easy, we're going to rock that head side to side, right ear towards the right shoulder, finding that little bit of space through the left side of the neck. And then our exhale brings us down through center and then over in that opposite direction, left ear towards that left shoulder. From there, I invite you to just go ahead and move at that pace that suits you this evening. And as always, at that depth that works for you. So if you like a little deeper of a stretch, maybe you look up a little bit further, or you keep it reined in a little bit if the neck is feeling a little bit tight or tender this evening. Taking 4 more nice deep breaths, twice more in each direction here. And finishing out 1 more time in each direction. And as always, feel free to find that extra change of direction if you need to even out and hit that second side one final time. When you do finish that last one, go ahead and drop that chin back to the chest. Find that little bit of a stretch through the back of the neck. And then that next inhale lifts that head back up nice and long at center. From there, take your time finishing it out. And then we're just going to go right into some nice, easy shoulder circles. So up towards the ears and then either down and back to the front, just kind of rolling them out, getting them moving after hopefully not too long day of sitting, but a long day of sitting, a long Monday as always. Go ahead and take 2 more circles in this first direction, and then just go ahead and switch it up. Same thing other way. Up towards the ears, and then either down in front or down in back, depending on what you start. Go ahead and take 2 more circles in that second direction. And then when you finish that one, just go ahead and relax those shoulders nice and low away from the ears. Before we get into our 2 bigger ranges of motion from here, let's take that scan of the body again, this time with the intention of that little bit of extra release and relaxation. As always, we'll keep those postural muscles strong so that we still have our nice long spine. But if you can find any extra relaxation through the muscles in the face, the jaw, maybe your tongue can come away from the roof of your mouth. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. If not, you can just bring your gaze down towards the floor, soften it. Keeping those shoulders relaxed nice and low away from the ears. Maybe you wiggle the fingers or the toes and just notice if there's any tension trapped there. Can you maybe relax your legs a little bit? So maybe they have to kind of separate out a little bit from that cross position to find that, but that's okay. See if you can relax those muscles and give yourself that little bit of space to just breathe and just be. Just take 1 more nice deep breath here with that inhale, allowing that space for the lungs to fill, the expansion of the chest, the ribs, the belly. And with that exhale, just that extra tiny bit of relaxation. Our next inhale is going to take our arms up. We're going into our lateral stretch next. So taking those arms up towards the ceiling with that next inhale, stretch super long away from center, fingertips up as high as they can go. And then that exhale brings that right hand down, that left arm up over top. Keep the chest open towards that front side of the room, but reach that shoulder up over top. If you can bring that elbow down towards the floor as long as we're keeping the chest open. Next inhale presses us up long through center, nice long spine, and inhale in that second direction. So nice and easy, same thing. Chest stays open towards the front of the room. You can have the palm down, or you can bring the elbow all the way down. From here, I invite you to move at that pace that is comfortable for you. Those inhales maybe pull you up through center, and those exhales down in either direction, or maybe you need a little bit of an extra hold today, a little bit more time in one direction or the other. And as always, if you like to move a little faster than I do, if your breathing is a little bit quicker and you'd like to keep it going with that, you're totally welcome to. Go ahead and keep it moving here a couple times in each direction. Awesome. Let's go twice more in each direction. So 4 more nice deep breaths. Or if you're finding that hold, maybe 2 more breaths, once in each direction. And that last time each way, or those last 2 breaths, maybe on that second side. When you finish out, we're going to go into our spinal twist. So if you're a regular and you would like to take it right into that spinal twist from those long arms, we're just going to start moving at our own pace. If you like to take those arms up overhead, you can take it right into it. One arm down in front, one arm down behind. If you don't, and you want to relax those arms down and around first, you are more than welcome to. Then that inhale finds that long spine, and that exhale takes us in that first direction from here. Same as that lateral stretch. Go ahead and keep it moving. If you like to keep the arms low, keep them low. If you like to take them high. And then bringing it side to side in that spinal twist. Same as always with this as well, as much pressure as you need through those legs to take that twist as deep as it feels good for you. You get a little crack of the back there in that first 1 or 2 like I do sometimes. And maybe it just feels good for that little bit of extra tension. If the lower back is something that bothers you and that doesn't feel good, then feel free to keep a little less tension. And making sure you're finding that nice long spine every time you come through center. Keeping those deep breaths going a couple more times each way. Finishing out this upper body core warm up here. Excellent. Let's go one more time in each direction. And if you need that third change of direction to even up and hit that second side one final time, please feel free to take it. After you finish that second side, one final time, that inhale brings us back to center. And as always, relaxing those arms down and around, or just bringing those shoulders nice and low away from the ears. We're going to take it into our lower body stretch up next to finish off our warm up, and then we will get into our flow. We're going to take those legs out nice and long first and foremost. If you need that gentle bend in them because those hamstrings are super tight, please feel free to have it. And then we're just going to start with kind of an easy fold. So I don't want it to be super deep. I don't want you to just relax the spine. I want to start with our long spine and bring that focus to that lower body, to those hamstrings. Then I just want you to track it down, fingertips coming past those knees, and just we're hinging at the hips. So not rounding into it and relaxing into it. I want to keep the spine long until I hit the edge of that range of motion. This is as far as I can go with my long spine. I'm going to hold there for one nice deep breath. After that nice deep breath, go ahead and relax into it. Release that spine down. Maybe give those legs a little bit of a shake if they need it. My hip cramped a little bit there. If yours did too, that's okay. Maybe it found it somewhere else. And then find that nice stretch. Fingertips towards the shins, the ankles, the toes, wherever you can reach. If you're someone that keeps that yoga strap handy right nearby, you can always use that to wrap around those feet and find this nice deep stretch. Now that change of our spine might feel the stretch a little bit differently through the back or through the legs. That's okay. If one or the other serves you better, feel free to find it. So if this forward fold with the rounded spine feels better, you can keep it here. If you liked that long spine at the edge of that range of motion, you can take it halfway back up to that. Take one more nice deep breath in this first fold. Big inhale and exhale. And then go ahead and roll it up. We're gonna do that same thing, but just with that focus on each leg, just one time in each direction. Move into our flow. So go ahead and fold that left leg in, bring the sole of the foot towards that inner right thigh. We're gonna start with that long spine once again, so go ahead and find it. Hinge forward at those hips, keep the spine nice and long. Find that tension almost through the back of the leg a little bit more. Maybe you point the toes up towards the ceiling and find it through the calf. When you get to the edge of that range of motion, one nice deep breath. And then go ahead and relax into it, release into it, find that stretch to the lower back. Again, if that's not the option that suits you, feel free to keep that on the spine. Fabulous. One more nice deep breath here. Big inhale and exhale. And then go ahead and roll it up with that next inhale. We've got one more time on that second side. So go ahead and fold that right foot in. That left leg goes out long. If you did it backwards, just switch them up. Same thing, long spine to start us off. Big inhale, fold it forward, hinge at those hips. Maybe those toes point up if the calf needs a little stretch. When you get to the edge of that range of motion, one nice deep breath. And then go ahead and relax and release into it. Nice big stretch down that left side. Maybe you feel a little bit more stretch through the right side of the body with this because we're reaching a little bit out to the left. That's okay. Fabulous. One more nice deep breath here. Big inhale and exhale. And then that next inhale rolls us back up to that nice long spine. Fabulous. Let's circle those legs around. Bring it to hands and knees. When you get there, if you want one cat and cow, feel free to find one cat and cow. Big inhale and exhale. When you finish those, bring that spine back to neutral. Curl those toes under, press those hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take this gently if you need to. Nice little bend through those knees. Maybe you pedal out those heels. Maybe that head wasn't quite ready for that first inversion, so you keep it a little bit lifted. That's okay. Totally fine here. And then whichever direction suits you best, walking those hands back towards those feet or those feet forward towards those hands. Either option is fabulous. Taking it to that forward fold. Releasing those fingertips from the floor when you get to those feet if you need to. And finding that nice stretch, that kind of inversion here as well. Super slow, vertebrae by vertebrae, and beginning with the pelvis, we're gonna roll it up. So I want you to kind of bring it almost up to that halfway lift to where those hips can turn under. When they get there, then we're turning the hips under. Then we're flattening out the lower back, then the upper back, then the shoulders come back, and then the head and the neck lift. When you get to the top, if there's any final range of motion that suits you this evening to get started, feel free to take it. If not, feel free to grab a sip of your beverage, and then we're going to be right back here to get into our flow. So taking just a moment, two nice deep breaths. If you've got anything left that you need to find, go ahead and find it. And like I said, it's a building flow this evening. So we're going to start kind of from the ground up. We're going to get warmed up. We're going to move through some ranges of motion that we don't always do a bunch in this class because I like to ramp up the intensity a little bit. But bear with me if there's something that suits you a little bit better than one of these ranges of motion. We've got a bunch of options here that you can kind of apply moving forward as well. We're going to start with 3 nice deep breaths. So if you're not quite back to your mat, join us whenever you get there. We're going to lead with those arms. That first big inhale takes us out and up. When you get to the top, that nice big stretch long away from center, and then that exhale brings them down and around. We're going to do 2 more on that second one. We'll find our forward fold. This one, inhale takes us up. And exhale just brings those arms down. Nice. On this last one, here we go into that fold. Inhale takes us up. And exhale brings us down, fingertips back towards the toes. Finding that nice little stretch, that nice little forward fold. Again, find that stretch maybe through the back, through the spine. We're going to take a moment here. If you like to wave a little bit side to side on this forward fold, you can find that. If you like that ragdoll, opposite hand to opposite elbow, feel free to find it. Maybe the head needs to shake nice and slow. Yes or no, range of motion for the neck. 2 more breaths just in this forward fold. Awesome. Let's take one halfway lift here with that inhale. Bring it to that flat back, that long spine. Activate that core, pulling it in, belly button towards the spine, keeping that spine nice and long, and then exhale, fold it forward. From here, let's step it back to our low lunge. Right leg is going to go back nice and long, toes down, and then knee comes down. Top of that foot can also come down. You've got two options for your low lunge, as we found the last couple weeks. You can bring those hands to the inside and sink those hips down, or you can bring it halfway up, turn those hips under, and just press them slightly further forward. As usual, whichever of those feels better for you today, whichever serves you better, maybe that hip flexor needs that little bit of an extra stretch, or maybe you like to press a little bit deeper into it. Either one is great. Awesome. Let's take it back to that hamstring stretch. Sinking those hips backwards, lengthening that left leg, lifting those left toes, hinge forward at those hips. You can take those fingertips down. You can take them out towards the toes. You can do one and the other. Or you can keep it up a little bit taller with those hands on those hips if that feels good. Nice. All right, let's take it back into that low lunge. So just like 3/4 of the way there. So we've still got that torso nice and tall. So if you did bring it down, go ahead and stand it up for me. We're gonna take those arms up overhead into that low lunge with those arms high, that torso long. And then we're gonna turn it open as if we were coming into our warrior two. So I just want you to open those arms. Left arm comes forward, right arm goes back, a little off balance here, maybe just because we've got that back leg still nice and straight. That's okay, work with it, find your strong core. We're taking this into what our peaceful would be from here. So I want you to flip that left palm, that front palm, bring that right hand down towards the leg. If you'd like, it can reach all the way down. And I have to shift my hips back a little bit for this so that I'm not twisting through my lower back too much. So just take this where you need it to be and then lift that left arm up. If you can't quite reach down, you can just reach towards it and lift the left arm anyways. Exhale brings us back out to where those warrior two arms would be. Feel free to press up off that calf. Take a moment. We're going to cartwheel it down inside that left leg. So left hand's going to come down on the inside of that knee. Right hand's going to come down on the inside of that knee. We're back in that low lunge. This is going to take us to hands and knees. Circle that left leg around. Bring it down next to the right. Plant those palms. Get those knees right underneath those hips. Give me one cat and cow, once in each direction. Inhale, belly towards the floor, hips and chin lift. Exhale, spine rounds up towards the ceiling. Tuck the chin in towards the chest and those hips underneath. Bring it back out to center. We're pressing it back to our child's pose next. If you like to take those knees a little wider, feel free to, and then sink those hips back. That nice little stretch for the lower back, for the torso, for the chest, for the arms. Nice. Let's take it forward to our cobra or baby cobra. As always, if you like to take those knees in a little bit under those hips like I do, feel free to press those hips down and that torso lifts. As always, baby cobra is a fabulous option if the spine is not quite feeling that full cobra just yet. All right, most challenging part of this little sequence before we take it up a notch is just going to be to transfer this to our plank. So turn those toes under, activate your core before you start to lift those hips, and then press those hips up, bring it into that plank. We're starting with our modified side planks. We will build this one up pretty quickly next round, so feel free to stick with me here. Set that left knee down, turn that left foot out towards the side. Inside of that right foot meets the mat, and that right arm lifts. So I'm in this modified side plank. Now here's that build. If you really don't want that, a little bit less of a challenge with that knee down, you can pull that knee up right towards it. We're in that full side plank. We've even got those inner thighs working, and that torso is working to keep those hips up nice and high. Fabulous. We're transferring it back down to center. Left knee comes down, right hand comes down, foot turns back towards the center. Nice. Step it back out to that plank for just a moment. Press it out. Down dog's going to transfer us to that fold. Press those hips up and back. Walk those feet forward to meet those hands. Forward fold. Excellent job. Let's find that halfway lift. Inhale, nice flat back, long spine. Exhale, fold it forward. Nice, low lunge, other side. Left leg steps back nice and long. Toes down first, knee down second, top of that foot down. Same two options for that low lunge. You can sink it in a little bit deeper if that feels good, or you can come halfway up, turn those hips underneath, and press it forward for that hip flexor stretch. Choose the option that works better for you. If you need that a little bit more intense on that hip flexor, feel free to find it. Excellent. We're taking it back to our hamstring stretch next. So no matter where you are, sink those hips back, lengthen that front leg, that right leg, lift those right toes, hinge forward with those hips to find that stretch to that right hamstring. Again, fingertips can come down to the mat for a little bit more stability or out towards the toes for a little bit more stretch. Excellent. We're coming back out to that 3/4 of the way into that low lunge. So keeping that torso tall, sweep those arms up there. Here comes that kind of low modified warrior two. Right arm comes forward, left arm comes backwards. And then we're going to take it into that peaceful, again, that kind of slightly modified, flip that front palm, lean it back. Again, if you need to shift those hips back a little bit to find that ankle or that calf, feel free to reaching that right arm up. If you prefer to just not come all the way down to that leg, please feel free to not do so. And then go ahead and bring it back out to those warrior two arms, cartwheeling it down. Right hand comes down inside, left hand comes down inside, and then we're back to hands and knees. Right knee circles around, plant it down right underneath that hip, plant those palms. One cat and cow, once in each direction. Inhale, belly towards the floor. Exhale, spine towards the ceiling. And then bring it back out to center, that nice long spine. Child's pose just briefly, so feel free to keep those knees in center if you'd like to, or you can take them wide if you want them for this just moment in this child's pose. And then let's press it out to cobra. Hips come forward, knees come underneath if they weren't already. Torso comes up. Again, BB cobra is excellent for this. Nice, so here's that transition to our plank. Turn those toes under, activate the core, and then press up into that low plank position, that high plank position. Here comes that modified side plank, which we will quickly take up if you need to. Right knee comes down, turn that right knee out to the side, inside of that left foot, and that left arm lift. From here, you can stay right here, or you can lift that right leg. So we're working that inner thigh, we're working that core. Nice, excellent. We're taking it back down. Right knee comes down, left hand comes down, left toes turn under, right knee goes, or right leg goes back to meet the left, back to that plank, and then up to that down dog. Nice, bend those knees, step or hop those feet forward to meet those hands, forward fold. Excellent, we're taking it all the way up to that extended mountain. Inhale, arms come up, overhead. And exhale, circle the arms down. Alrighty, let's keep it moving. Inhale takes the arms out and in. Exhale brings us into that fold, fingertips towards the toes. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, long spine. Find that activated core, same way that we do on that transition from the cobra to the plank. Exhale folds us forward, fingertips towards the toes. Nice, we are gonna take it back into that low lunge one time here. So step that right leg back nice and long, bring that knee down, top of that right foot, choose your option for the lunge. Either is fabulous. You can press those hips forward, or you can come up halfway, turn the hips underneath so the bottom of the pelvis faces forward, the top of the pelvis faces in, the core is activated, and press those hips forward as far as you need for that hip flexor stretch. Nice, let's take it back to that hamstring stretch one time here. Press those hips back, lengthen that front leg, that left leg, lift those left toes, hinge forward at those hips, find that hand placement. Excellent work. Let's take it forward into that lunge. We're going to transition to our crescent for this one. Curl that right toe under, lift the knee, sweep the arms up. So same concept as before, but we're now with that right knee off the ground. This time, instead of that kind of modified version, we're going to take it into that warrior two. Right heel turns down, arms open up. Keep that nice bend in that left knee, so we're sinking into it. We want to wrap that right thigh in, so we're not just opening the hips towards the side, but we're keeping them pulled in. We're keeping the core intentional and active. Take it to peaceful, flip the front palm, lift it up. Let's cartwheel it down, left hand, right heel lifts. Excellent, all right, you've got two options. You can set that right knee down and circle it around to hands and knees, or you can keep it lifted and step that left foot back to meet the right. We're in that plank. Nice, let's take those hips up and back, down dog, whether you had knees down or knees up. All right, you've got two options from here, same as always with that low flow. Knees can go down wide and hips can sink back towards the heels, or shoulders can float over wrists. And from the toes or knees, we can find chaturanga. Then with that next inhale, everyone go ahead and press to cobra or baby cobra. Hips come down to that mat, torso lifts. Here's that transition again, we're taking it to that plank. Curl those toes under, bring it back up to that plank, activate that core first. All right, two options. You can set that left knee down, turn it out and open up, or from that plank, you can just open right up into that side plank. Right arm lifts, feet stay nice and long. Top leg can lift for that extra challenge on this one if you did stay nice and long. Nice, let's bring it back to center, back into that plank just briefly. Hips go up and back, down dog. Bend those knees, step or hop those feet forward to meet those hands, forward fold. Excellent. We're taking that other side, and then we get a little bit of a break after this time through. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Whew. Left leg steps back nice and long, knee down, top of that foot comes down. We're in that low lunge this last time on this second side, or halfway up, turn those hips under, a little bit of a press forward. Either option, fabulous. Let's take it to that hamstring stretch. Shift those hips back, lengthen that front leg, hinge forward at the hips. Fingertips can come down or forward. Fabulous. And then let's take it back out to that lunge, which we're going to transition to our crescent, turning the left toes under, lifting the knee, find your balance, sweep the arms up. We've got that nice bend in that right knee here. Maybe that long left leg if the hip flexor is allowing for it. Here we come to our warrior two. Turn the left heel down, open the arms. Once again, we're kind of wrapping that left thigh in, keeping the core engaged here in that nice bend in that right knee. Let's flip the front palm, lift it up and back, peaceful. Exhale is going to cartwheel us down. Right hand, left heel. Excellent. You can transition to that plank or you can drop that knee and circle it around and then press up to that plank. Either way, take it to that plank, take it to that plank. And then let's press to our downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Nice, same two options for that low flow. Knees can go down wide and hips can go back towards the heels, or float those shoulders out over those wrists. Toes or knees, keep the elbows close, nice and slow and controlled chaturanga. And then with that next exhale or inhale, everybody go ahead and press it forward to that cobra or baby cobra. Excellent work, you guys. Turn those toes under, activate the core, and then press up to that plank. All right, here we go, second side. Either that right knee can come down and turn out, or from that plank, we can turn it right to that side and open that left arm into our side plank. Again, that challenge can come from either lifting that bottom leg if that knee was down or lifting that top leg if it was not. You are more than welcome to stay right where you were. If you don't want that extra challenge, let's go ahead and bring that hand back down. Get back to center, press it back out to our plank just briefly. Fabulous. Press those hips up and back down, dog. Find that little stretch. Alrighty, you've got two options for that recovery. You can take those knees down wide and hips back towards the heels, or you can walk those feet forward to meet those hands and then roll it up to your mountain pose to find your drink or your range of motion or whatever you'd like. Child's pose or that standing position, that mountain pose. Take a couple nice deep breaths wherever you are. Take a moment, grab a sip of your beverage if you need it. Take any range of motion, a roll of the wrist, a little stretch, a spinal twist. Oh, how are we feeling? We doing all right? I'm talking really fast, but I hope we aren't moving too fast. all right, fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Okay. Too much cold brew today. That's okay. All right. 2 more nice deep breaths wherever you are, and then we will once again start with those 3 nice deep breaths. So feel free to join me whenever you are ready on those 3 nice deep breaths. We'll go back into it. We've got another movement or two to take up a notch this round, and then in our extra 20 minutes, if you're able to join me or interested in joining me, we've got a couple more to do. All right, so making our way back to the top of our mat. Once again, we're going to start with those 3 deep breaths. So if you're not finished with your range of motion, you're not ready to be here, join me when you are. We're still going to find that forward fold before we go anywhere. That first big inhale takes us out and up. And then exhale brings the arms down. Second big inhale takes us out and up. And exhale brings the arms down. Nice. The third one's taking us into our fold. Inhale takes us up. Exhale brings us into that forward fold. Take a moment here. Find that stretch wherever you need to. Maybe the spine stays a little longer and you press those hips back for that hamstring stretch. Maybe you round and relax into it. Maybe the head and neck relax and release. Excellent. We're going to take a halfway lift here. Inhale to that flat back, that long spine. Activate that core the same way we do on that cobra to plank transition. And then forward fold. Here's a way to take it up a notch. Let's take it into our chair. Sweep those arms up, sink those hips back. Taking that nice bend in those knees. Maybe those feet come a little closer together and you press those thighs together to bring it down a little bit deeper. Maybe they're a little wider and this feels more like a squat too. Either way, keep that long spine. The arms can come up near the ears, but not at the sacrifice of our lower back. So keep those hips curled underneath. Fabulous. Exhale, fold it forward. Nice. We're going to skip that low lunge this time. So go ahead and step that right leg back nice and long. Do not put that knee down. Keep that toe curled under. Find your nice long, strong core. Sweep the arms up, crescent. Nice. We're going to take it right into that warrior two here. Turn that right heel down, open those arms. Instead of our hamstring stretch by sinking it back, we're going to take it into our triangle. Lengthen that front leg, that left leg. Hinge forward at those hips like someone's trying to hand you a $100 bill, and then bring that left hand down, that right arm up into that triangle. Trying to open the chest towards that front wall, trying to keep those hips stacked, those shoulders stacked. Fabulous. We're going to take it up and over into our peaceful. So let's take those arms back up, that torso back up, bend that left knee once again, flip the left palm and press it up towards the ceiling. You can find that half bind if you'd like to, or you can just reach those fingertips towards the floor. And then from here, let's cartwheel it down. Left hand comes down, right hand comes down, right heel comes up. Again, if you'd like that transition a little bit more through hands and knees, feel free to take it. If not, plant those hands, step that left back to meet the right. We're back in that plank. If you drop that right knee, circle that left around, go ahead and lift those knees, bring it into that plank. Here we come into those side plank options. Left knee can drop down and you can turn it open, or you can just turn it open from that plank position. Either option is fabulous, and then you've got that way to take it up a notch if you'd like it from wherever you are. Lift the bottom leg or lift the top leg. Keeping those hips stacked, keeping them nice and high. Don't forget to breathe. Excellent work, you guys. Go ahead and bring it back around to that plank, Make your transition. Excellent. Downward facing dog. Bend those knees, step or hop those feet forward to meet those hands, forward fold. Inhale, sweeps those arms up, sinks those hips back into our chair. Nice. We're going to come out of this and back into it to start us back over. So our exhale brings us back into that fold. We're taking our halfway lift as that interim. Inhale to that flat back, that long spine. Exhale to that forward fold. Take it back into our chair. Sweep those arms up, sink those hips back. Awesome. Sinking it nice and low, keeping that spine nice and long. Fabulous. Take it back into that fold one more time. Fingertips towards the toes, hips come up, little stretch. Here we come into that crescent. Left leg steps back nice and long. Right knee bends. Sweep those arms up. Sink into that right knee. Crescent lunge. Nice long torso. Nice active core. Here we go, warrior two. Left heel turns down. Arms open. Which takes us to our triangle. Go ahead and lengthen that right leg. Hinge forward at those hips. Pressing the hips backwards and the fingertips forward until you reach the edge. And then right hand down, left arm up into that triangle. If you need that little extra support, you can use that leg, but not too much pressure down on that knee. We're taking it back up through our warrior two. Long torso, arms long front and back. Bend the right knee. Flip the front palm. Lift it up and back. Peaceful. And then let's cartwheel it down. Right hand, left heel. All right, same two options for that transition. Left knee can drop and you can circle that right leg around, or you can step it directly back. Let's take it into that plank. Fabulous work. Same two options. Right knee can drop or you can open right into that side plank. And same options to take it up a notch. Top leg can lift, bottom leg can lift. Excellent. Nice deep breath. And that next exhale, go ahead and circle it back over to our plank. Nicely done, nicely done. Downward facing dog. Bend those knees, step or hop those feet forward to meet those hands, forward fold. Let's take it into our chair. Sweep those arms up, sink those hips back. Nice little tiny hold here. Try and keep it nice and low. Keep that spine super long. Fabulous. Exhale back into that fold. Fingertips towards the floor. Hips come up. Let's take another halfway lift. Inhale to that flat back, that long spine. Exhale into that fold. Inhale rolls us all the way up. Extended mountain. Lateral stretch. Right hand down, left arm up. Inhale up through center. Second side. Inhale up to center. Exhale, circles the arms down and around. Interlace or press those palms towards each other behind the back. Open up through the chest, pull the shoulder blades together. Exhale to go ahead and release, shake it out, shake out those legs a little bit. Alrighty, fabulous work. That brings us almost to the end of our first 40 minutes already.